Stronger together now, we were never gone. So look to the break of dawn, to the break of dawn. Stronger together now, we were never gone. Look to the break of dawn, to the break of dawn, my friends. Come on, come on, come on, light up the flame. You're gonna bring the light back, bring the light back, bring it right back. Bring the light back, bring the light back, bring it right back. She's a pale supernova with a bona fide attitude. Mark said gold, she's a sweating of the mojo, gonna reach her altitude. She got nothing in her way, all the walls come crashing down. I'm gonna take her in my arms, I'm gonna tear up this town. She gonna teach her how to rock and roll. She gonna teach her how to rock and roll. Hey, she got a fire burning out of control. The baby's gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Yeah, she gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Left, right, straight, she's a glow in the middle of a spinning red ring of light. She got so much soul and she don't even know it, ain't no venom in her bite. She got everything I want in a lady and a little more. She's a cool desert island on a wave washing off the shore. She gonna teach you how to rock and roll. She gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Hey, she got a fire burning out of control. The baby's gonna teach you how to rock and roll.
Welcome, race fans from around the globe. Here they come, out of turn 4, to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to 1 to Go Studios coverage of the 2021 Season 2 North-South Racing League ARCA series presented by 5 Star Realty Group, J&G Hardwood Flooring, Kelly's Customs Engraving, and Track Time Entertainment. Tonight we bring you coverage of Round 6 live from the Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Harold Darner with 1 to Go Studios, and we're glad that you're here with us tonight at Lucas Oil in Indianapolis, Indiana, covering the Track Time Entertainment 200. Guys are out on the track for qualification. Looks like Matt Dula had the top score there, and Luke Smith just knocked him off the top there. Start getting to some of these guys. Try to see if we can grab some of the drivers as they are on the racetrack. Ryan Johnson now with the top score on the board. It's Thomas Stewart on the track with 64. Currently in the 17th position. Around for his second lap. Looks like a little better. Puts him in the 17th position. 26 cars will qualify into tonight's feature. 200 laps here. The other guys will go into our 15-minute, 15-lap last chance qualifier to get 4 drivers to finish out the 30-car field for tonight's feature. Devin Rogers heading out to the track. Lucas Oil Raceway here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Just shy of 7/10 of a mile. In the late afternoon going into the night racing here, 200 laps. No fast repairs, iRacing flags only. Full fuel, 3 sets of tires in the pits tonight. Lucky dog in effect. 1 green-white checkered in the feature. Points leader right now is Justin Grosser, followed by Brian Holman, Ryan Johnson, Chuck Sweeting, and Jared Mogard are your top 5 in points. The North leads the South by 54 points entering round number 6. And Justin Grosser was last week's winner at Nashville Fairgrounds. Tonight is a showdown race, which means that there's a plaque up for grabs for Kelly Customs Engraving. We'll talk about Kelly's here. Kelly Customs Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Whaleville, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view all of their amazing products and place your order. They will be giving out tonight's plaque. Devin Rogers still trying to put in the lap here as we're staying with him. And you can take a look at that on the Facebook page at North South, or you could check it out at Kelly's Customs Engraving directly. But they will be providing a wooden plaque for the trophy for tonight's winner. Right now I'm looking at 27 drivers have currently put in a time, with Devin Rogers being in the 27th position, with Michael Van in the 13, who is sitting on the bubble. It looks like 5 drivers will be in the LCQ for the 4 spots. And that is the end of qualification. We will head into heat number 1. We'll get to the grid here. Heat number 1, Devin Rogers, Chuck Sweeting, Brian Holman, Marshall Johnson, and Ken Saggart. So these 5 guys will be battling for those 4 positions that'll move forward, so someone will not be making the race tonight. As the guys are gridding up, 15 laps or 15 minutes. Yellow flag laps do not count. Top 4 will get advanced to the feature. Now, tonight's presenting sponsor for the Track Time Entertainment 200's Track Time Entertainment, They're also our Hard Charger Award sponsor. And for the Hard Charger Award, they earn this by being a driver who gained the most position in the race. A picture of their car is taken and posted to the Facebook page with its own write-up to highlight the accomplishment. Not only has Track Time Entertainment picked up that Hard Charger Award, they're offering our drivers a discount as well. Track Time Entertainment is located in Texas and builds custom driving simulators and with a personal touch. Rigs are fully customizable with color options and utilize 80/20 US extruded aluminum. These rigs offer a wide range of adjustability as well as different options for wheels, shifters, and keyboards. The possibilities are endless. If you could dream it, Track Time Entertainment can build it for you. And our grid was presented by 5-Star Realty Group. 5-Star Realty Group is located on the Emerald Coast in beautiful Panama City, Florida. 5-Star Realty Group has years of experience in residential properties, investment opportunities, vacation rentals, and commercial properties. They look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. All right, I see 4 cars on the track. So it looks like all of these guys will make it. Ken Saget has not made it onto the Raceway just yet. Lights are out on the pace cars. We're getting ready to go green flag racing. Be on the next lap here. J&G Hardwood Flooring, also a sponsor for the NSRL ARCA League. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a small family-owned business which started in 2005, located in Christiana, Tennessee. Serves all of Middle Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon Klasinski have a combined 35 years of experience to serve all of your flooring needs. From new construction, remodels, or even small repairs. For estimates and scheduling, call 615-904-2218. And we're going green. Okay, looks like Devin Rogers wants that 4th spot, so we'll sit with him in the transfer position. He just basically rolled to the back. Fastest car in qualifying was Justin Grosser with a 22.971. So he is the fastest car that set the pole time. They do invert the front 10, or up to the front 10. Brian Holman now the fastest car on the LCQ here, working lap number 3. And Justin Grosser, from being last week's winner, will go to the end of the longest line, back into the back of the pack when we start up, as well as anybody who had a 14 incident disqualification from last week's event will be going to the rear. Looks like the race controller is trying to advance the session, since we know all these drivers will make it to the show. And not sure. iRacing doesn't like to advance these kind of races, but we'll see. Brian Holman, fastest car. These guys are getting a little bit of extra practice in. Brandon Klasinski checking in on the Facebook Live page for Wendigo Studios. Give them heck, Devin Rogers. At 25, Devin in the third spot. Tonight's track, North Track in Indianapolis. Last week, Justin Grosser broke through being the first driver in the ARCA series to win in enemy territory as the North driver took that South win at Nashville. So we'll be looking for South drivers to return the favor tonight. Devin Rogers sliding out of that corner. Let's check the Lottie'sTravelWorld.com weather for tonight. Lottie'sTravelWorld.com. If you're looking for a vacation, staycation, looking to get out of the house, any kind of vacation travel plans you have, Lottie'sTravelWorld.com will be able to help you out. Track time entertainment 200 tonight, mostly cloudy. Air temperature 71, track at 83. Relative humidity at 61. The winds are coming out of the west slightly at 2 miles per hour. Right now, Chuck Sweeting in that 75 ride, controlling the board. 5 laps to go. So all 30 cars that started are going to make it in. Ken Saggart, I guess, might have left the building. He's the only car that will not make the grid for the Track Time Entertainment 200 at the Lucas Oil Raceway. JD Rich says Cold Monster Energy in an 11th place starting position. So he's ready to unleash the beast tonight. And he's wishing us a great broadcast. We appreciate that from our drivers, and we do like it when they check in. We'll have a good race tonight. Cars look like they're a little bit loose coming off the corners, so we should end up making this a very interesting event for tonight. See that safer barrier all the way around Lucas Oil. 2 laps to go. Final lap to Chuck Sweeting with Johnson, Holman, and Rogers. Checker flag out. Results from that heat. Sweeting, Johnson, Holman, and Rogers. In that order will move up. Guys are going into warm-ups now. Four minutes of warm-up here. All right, race control saying cars going to the rear. The 8, the 10, the 40, the 44, and the 38. So Jonathan Cross, Jeff Mathis, as well as Justin Grosser, will be given that penalty and pulled to the back of the field before we go green. See JD Rich there in that Monster Energy along that outside retaining wall. All right, looks like we're going to invert the top 4 again. It's been lucky number 4 for most of the season. So Justin Grosser will fire off in the 4th spot, with the Jared Apel in the 51 will be on the pole position after the inversion, with Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson on the outside of him as we take the green flag for the 200 laps here tonight. Right, Dan Janin in that Duff Beer racer is currently holding the fastest spot in warm-up. We're drinking at Moe's tonight for Dan Janin. That's Speedco 38, winner of last week's race. He's currently holding the 2nd spot in warm-up. Austin Green says, let's go 68. Jordan Madron. Take a ride with Jordan around the goes. Grosser putting up the fastest time in practice now. All right, 10 seconds left, and then we'll get ready to put this thing onto the grid. Moving on. And that's completing of warm-ups. All right, here is our grid for tonight's Track Time Entertainment 200. Got Jared Apel and Ryan Johnson. Kevin Barrett, Justin Grosser in row 2. Row number 3, Luke Smith and Jared Mogert. Josh Eastoe and Matt Dula in the 4th row. Jonathan Cross and Robbie Clavey in 5th row. 6th row, JD Rich and DJ Weltmeyer. Row 7, Josh Nelms and Gary Eschen. Jordan Mandarin and Adam Gable are in row 8. Row number 9, Jeff Mathis and Greg Polsky. Row 10, Justin White, Dan Janin. Thomas Stewart and Travis Hoffler in row 11. Row 12, Matt Cook and Shane Loveridge. Row 13, Drew Halloran and Michael Van. Row 14, Chuck Sweating and Marshall Johnson. In row 15, Brian Holman and Devin Rogers for tonight's Track Time Entertainment at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, Indiana. So EOL's issued out. There's some people going to the back. We will be fired off with 51 and the 3. Both North drivers protecting that North lead right off the bat. You see there the blue. First driver from the South, Kevin Barrett Jr. And you have to go all the way back to J.D. Rich in 11th to find the next South driver. The North heavily represented here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Burn under green flag. F51 and the 3 going to do battle going down to turn number 1. Side by side, but Tiny Horse with a big run off of the corner. Give him the race lead. Jared Mogard moving up to second around that 51. And the 09 of Kevin Barrett now side by side, door to door with the 51. Matt Dula moving up in the 17. Caution is out. So let's try to see what might have happened here. On the start here, so a car in front of the smoke is in front of the 47. Let's see if I can find where that was first. Oh, the 61 was turned, and then we had a big, there we go. That was pretty much what started, but we'll see here. Let's go ahead and look at our gaps through, put those towers up. Tiny Horse leading the way here. Looks like Jared Mogard, Jared Apel with Kevin Barrett, his first South driver. And then we go back to Jordan Madron and Justin White. So EOL's issued to the 33 for a restart violation, and the 16 EOL for contact. Those like JD Rich, Gary Eschen, and Devin Rogers all extending their time on the pit lane. Back down the lap is Eschen and Rich back on the racetrack. A lot of contact showing up on the incident reports. We contact Madrin, Dan Janin, Travis Hoffler, Holleran, Cook, Shane Loveridge, Weltmeyer, Eschen, Rich, and Rogers. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. Tiny Horse taking the outside line as he brings them to the green flag on lap number 6. Caution back out. The 8 and the 13 make contact, and then logged up the field. There was the 8, 75 and the 33 involved as well. Matt Cook is involved in both of those at number 9. Because the first, our top 9 running clean here. All North drivers except for Kevin Barrett. We got Adam and Greg Polsky also with clean machines in 11th and 12th. And Justin White in the 14th spot. Stewart and Grosser 17th, 18th, they're running clean. And Jonathan Cross in the 22nd position. Everyone else has 4 or more points or incidents. They're only allowed 14, and then their car will disappear from the racetrack. As we're under caution for the second time tonight, lap 9 of 200, and Eschen is given the wave around here as he goes on by. North continues to control here at Lucas Oil. Ken Dula is looking at Facebook on the Wendigo Studios. It says, keep the car clean, Matt. Time for another win. Dula's sitting there in the 6th spot. Caution is out for the second time. The lights are still on the pace car. The long race still ahead of us. Only 10% down. 13 took the blame for the contact and sent back to the rear. Michael Van. Laney Jones says, let's go Jordan. Checking in on Facebook Live at Wendigo Studios. Still lights on the pace car, waiting for the race control to let the field get stacked up and get the pace car off the track so we can get back to green flag racing. Only had a couple laps thus far. Working lap number 11. And the top 18 drivers who are on the racetrack have not come down pit lane at all. April Worth checking in, says, come on, Tiny Horse, who's right now in the lead. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson in his tie-dye 3 ARCA car. Pace car out of the way. The 3 will bring us to the green flag. And he's off the 3. Good jump over the 0-0. 51 also challenging now to the 0-0 on the high line. So we see Ryan get about a 4/10 jump there. We start to see the guys single file follow the leader here. Working lap number 13. We were able to get through lap 13. Fastest car, Jared Mogard. Ryan Johnson climbing the outside retaining wall on that right front tire as Jared Mogard looks to the inside. Ryan's able to catch her back up and stay ahead of the 0-0. Front four goes the tail all the way back. That's Kevin Barrett Jr. And that number 9, the 09 I should say, trying to take the track for the South. It is a North track, so the South drivers have an extra $25 to fish for if they're able to take home the checkered flag here at the North track. The North is pretty well stacked in the field. Tiny Horse with that edge on that outside line as we see the 51 coming across and scraping that right rear across the outside retaining wall. Pretty much single file on the high line all the way around the racetrack right now. 18 laps of 200. Mogard looking every so and often, trying to see if he can get up underneath. The thing is, he's going to have to clear the 3 when he does. Otherwise, the 3 is just going to muscle off the corner. Mogard right all over the back of the 3. Coming from the back of the 3. See how close they're getting there. Mogard looking on the inside there. Not going to have enough. He's going to tuck back in again. So 10% down as we finish 20 laps. Field spread out pretty well here, except for the front 4. Continue to stay nose to tail, and Dula kind of sitting on an island in the 5th position. Not a real pressure in the front or behind him. Jared Mogard on the inside of the yellow flag has come out. And 47 of Drew Halloran around. Let's see if we can find where this may have started. Stack up behind the 47 and the 64 and the 10. If you're looking at the replay on the backstretch entering 3 and 4. There's a 47 around on his own. No one else involved, just the 47. Mogard was ahead at the last scoring loop, and he was given the lead now, putting Tiny Horse in the 2nd position as the 61 of JD Rich is given the wave around. .47 of Drew Halloran issued the end of line penalty for bringing out our third caution tonight. Have to give a shout out to Michael Xavier. He's the race controller for the now North-South Race League. Doing a good job in the race control booth tonight. Now 25 laps down of 200. Next week we move on to left-right turns in the WeatherTech at Laguna Seca. Not sure the last time I've seen the ARCA cars at a road course. Should make for an interesting night. I've talked to the drivers here in North-South about some of this stuff and working with the 24-hour lemons and working a little bit with Joey Atterbury from the Rush Performance Esports guys, and they're all telling me about that drop in the corkscrew being about 3 stories. So imagine having your car basically on the 4th floor and then dropping it down to the ground level. It's how bad that corkscrew drops in elevation. And they said at the real racetrack, you can't even see the right-hand turn until you're basically in it. They use markers outside the track, such as a nice tree, I was told. Kind of neat talking to some of the drivers. This is the pandemic kind of time. It's been giving us the opportunity to race alongside race car drivers that, you know, were pretty much grounded from competition because of the pandemic last year. So they came out in force and kind of showed us the way, gave us some really good, interesting racing and some tips as well. But a big shout out to those guys helping us out with our broadcasts. Getting ready to go back to the green flag as the lights are out on the pace car. The 0-0, Jared Mogert is gonna bring us back to green. 28 laps down, 172 to go. Mogert brings us to the flag. Brings Jared Apel with him as the 3 and the 51 do battle for second. Right behind them is Kevin Barrett with Luke Smith. See that lead there of Mogert, about 7/10 over everyone else. You see Jared Apel and Ryan Johnson sorting things out to go single file. 30 laps on their tires all the way back to 14th. Actually, all the way back to 20th, except for Matt Cook, who's on 27 lap tires. So 31 laps of 200, 170 to go. Take a look at last week's winner. That was Justin Grosser, who's moved up from the 30th position to 9th. Pretty good movement for him, as he was given the end of the line for winning last week. That make it a little bit difficult for the drivers to repeat. That's what they do here at North-South Racing League. All right, Apel's now able to catch up with Jared Mogert with a 3/10 lead now, cutting 6/10 on that lead. Tiny horse behind them, Kevin Barrett Jr. and Luke Smith with Matt Dula in the 6th spot. Zero, zero, the 51. Your leaders right here. The 28 cars on the lead lap with Marshall Johnson down 1 lap and Devin Rogers down 3 laps. But everybody on the racetrack, all 30 drivers. You see Jared Apel there really hard in the outside retaining wall. He's down along the apron off of turn 1 and number 2. Bogert to jump back to a sizable lead here, about 4 car lengths. 4/10 according to the last scoring tower. With Johnson, Barrett, and Luke Smith about 1.6 back from the leader. So 36 down as they cross here. The guys are starting to settle in. And the sun is going down at Lucas Oil here. Garrett Apel back within striking range of the 0-0. Brian Holman from the last chance qualifiers moved up to the 8th spot. I believe that's going to give him the biggest Weaver lead right now. We'll check in with that. So right now, Brian Holman up 21 positions with Chuck Sweeting up 13 and Matt Cook up 8 spots. That gives you the top 3 looking for that hard charger award tonight. Down 40 laps, so 25% down now. Sorry, 20% down. Getting ahead of myself here. Apel looking to size up Moger, looking to take that lead. Johnson and Barrett Jr. have caught up, and looks like we're starting to get up to lap traffic. We'll take a look at the blimp shot here. There's our leaders coming off of turn number 2 with our Michael Van right there in the middle of 3 and 4 as the leaders are coming up behind him. They're still green. They were high up Indianapolis with Lucas Oil Raceway. You can see the drag strip behind us here. Guys go high. Van stays all along the apron, allowing everyone to get around him. Van, Marshall, and Devin Rogers now 27 cars on the lead lap. Everyone, the other 3 I just mentioned, at least 1 lap down. We continue to tick off the laps here as we're counting them down. Caution on the racetrack. Like Brian Holman, who came up, was leading the group of last chance qualifiers tonight. We'll see if we can figure out what got him turned around. The 60 and the 0-1 trying to get around that 13. Forced 3 wide. And that gets the 60 tight off and up into Looked like the 0-1 of Josh Nelms. So we'll see how Race Control scores that. Action on pit lane. Looks like the top driver, Ryan Johnson, in pit lane right now. Getting 4 new tires. Alright, so Mike Xavier and the race controllers say Josh Nelms in the 0-1 going to be issued the EOL for bringing out the last caution. Looks like Ryan Johnson will be, looks like, scored in the 10th spot when it's all said and done, and will be the first car on new tires. So Drew Halloran in the number 47. Looking at 10 incident points, so potential next contact could eliminate him from the race. Looking close to 50 laps here. We go back to green flag racing, we'll be 25% done. Mogert is going to get us to the green flag again. Should be going off. The lights should be going off on the pace car right here. And they are. That's good. So we're going to get everybody lined up. We'll have 150 laps remaining once we go back to green flag. So Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, the freshest set of tires, currently showing in 9th spot. Get ready to go green here. The 0-0 will fire us off. The 0-0 with Justin Grosser. And we have a caution right there on the restart. It looked like Dan Janjanin in the Duff Beer ride. But coming to the green that this happened. So you see the 2 behind the 9 and under the 3. So the 9 didn't really get a good run there, and the 0-9 into the 0-2. See what race control comes up with on this. So 55 laps of 200 being done here. So 56 of 200 now. Working lap number 57, 200 under caution. Lights are out. We'll be getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Raceway. About 143 left. A 0-2 and 0-9. They're giving the pet and the lines the last here. And we get ready to go. Mogard on the outside line. Justin Grosser coming from the last spot up to second position as we take turn number 1. Lap number 58 coming across here. Mogard, Grosser, Sweeting, Apel, and Gable, then Dula in the 6th spot. $59 laps all the way back to Dula in 7th. Luke Smith in the 8th spot, 12 laps on his tires. And Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson in the 6th spot now with fresh set of tires. Oh, a little bit of bobble there in front of Tiny Horse and Adam Gable. He was able to get around that 12 ride. That 3. Tiny Horse there. 60 laps down, 140 to go. Bogard now has a rear view mirror full of Justin Grosser, as Grosser's looking to get another plaque. Picked up that plaque from Monday night at Bristol. Now 62 out of 200. That 0-1 got it, like I said, got a mirror full of the 38. That Speedco loves 38 of Justin Grosser. The North continues to lead us here with Chuck Sweeting being the first South driver in third. Chuck definitely would be one of the biggest movers right now. 24 positions gained. As he came out of the last chance qualifier, Holman and Gable there. See the heat up there on the front there, off of turn 438, a little bit loose. Just under a tenth, 2/10 for these guys separation. Good lap 67 of 200. Coming up on lap traffic, that's the 13 of Michael Van. In the back of Mogart, saying going to the front. Currently there right now, yellow back out on the racetrack. Drew Halloran. Looks like he was involved, so we'll see if we can get to what exactly happened. And was disconnected, that was the 47. From the chopper there to 10 in the outside retaining wall. 47. The 9. 168 here. And 47 in the gas a little too soon there. He turns around and sent home. So Grosser and Mogart on pit road. Did 38 to 0-0, so they're going to give up the lead to now Ryan Johnson. Caitlin Pollock said, "Let's go, Adam." Check it in on Facebook Live and the One to Go Studios. North continues to hold on to this track as it is a North track. Less than 130 laps remaining. Ryan Johnson has 25 laps on his tires. And Jared Apel, who's behind him, 72, has not pitted yet. There is 3 sets of tires that they can use in the pits. After that, they're stuck with what they've got. So newest tires on the 00 and 38 of Mogart and Grosser. Matt Dula also with new tires, and he's back in 24th in the 17 ride. But he may move up a little bit as Kevin Barrett Jr. comes back down through pit lane. Not sure why Kevin's come down a second time. You're trying to get some repair work done on the 09. But right now in danger, we have Matt Cook currently riding in 8th with 10 incident points. 14 is an automatic disqualification by iRacing. Lights are off on the pace car as Ryan Johnson takes the outside line. Jared Apel in the 51 sitting on 74 lap tires. Looks like Drew Halloran and Devin Rogers have disconnected, leaving 28 cars on the track. 2 cars a lap down, Loveridge and Van. 26 cars on the lead lap as you see that 3 car get a heck of a jump on the outside. Eschen with him. And that 23 Michael Jordan ride, 51 on the inside of the 23. We're completed 75, 125 to go. See now Apel able to slide back up to the high groove in 3rd position. Followed by Josh Easto. So the North have control of the top 4 positions, with Holman in 5th, being the first South driver. Yellow out. I'm gonna have to get some help from range control in this race control on this one. I do not know who was involved. Nothing's showing me right now. Possibly Matt Cook in that one. So let's see if we can back this up and see. Wow, and the inside retaining wall, back that up a little bit. Pepsi in the number 9 ride here. Tags the outside retaining wall. Brings himself to the inside retaining wall. No one else involved. But he'll be issued an end of line penalty for bringing out the caution. Alex Parker checking in on Facebook Live, Wendigo Studios. Says Jordan is going to get the win. And 51 has yet to pit, still out there in the 3rd position. Bill Martin checking in. Didn't recognize that Phil wasn't on the track tonight. So 120 laps remaining in tonight's event. Matt Cook in danger of a 14 incident disqualification. All right, Phil watching probably watching the race and getting ready for left-right turns as Phil with watching the little guy tonight. All right. All right, 3 into 23, getting ready to fire us back to green here. Johnson on the outside. He's got control. He's off. Green flag. The 0-0 of Moger around the 38 of Justin Grosser involved. We're going to have to back it up to be able to see what happened here. Like coming to the green flag, the 8 misses a gear or slides up, the 0 gets into him, and the 38 into the 0-0. You're under caution. Race recap by J&G Hardwood Flooring. With a Track Time Entertainment 200, current race leader Ryan Johnson. We're in our 8th caution so far, 40 laps, 30 drivers took to the green. Fastest lap, 23.096 by Jared Mogard. Lane Jones says, let's go 68th. Jordan Mandrin. Got a little bit of damage on that car. We see a wave around there. The number 8 of Jeff Mathis was given an EOL for that caution flag coming out. $115 will be remaining as we cross here. The lights are still on the pace car. Looks like the pace car is off this time. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Ryan Johnson on the inside. So April up into the outside retaining wall. We're working 92 of 200 here. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson continuing to lead out front. 94 laps being worked, 106 to go. The 23 of Gary Eschen and Jared Apel. You gotta be impressed by Jared out there. 94 laps on that set of tires. Ugh, he's trying to get this in one set. Caution back out. Robbie Clabby this time is involved. Got to see where this happened. See right there, he's sliding in the corner out of 3 and 4. Takes it to the inside retaining wall there, right in front of the front grandstands. And that'll get him an end-of-line penalty. Jared Apel now going to the pits with a few other drivers there with him. Jared Apel there getting servicing done. Matt Cook has disconnected as well, leaving 27 cars on the racetrack. 26 on the lead lap with Michael Van. Actually 25 on the lead, and Jared Mogard is the last car on the lead lap, and Robbie Clabby's 1 lap down here, the only car off of the lead lap. Looks like we might get to 100 here under caution. And we'll get back to green flag racing. Continue to work under the caution flag here. So we'll be getting the cross flags under caution. Okay, the lights will go off on this one. They do, so we'll get the cross flags right at the green flag. Start racing here with 100 laps to go. Ryan deciding to take the inside this time. See, Ryan getting off to a good lead there. 3/10 over Luke Smith. We have another caution back out. There's Josh Mogert and heavy damage there on that front left tire. Gonna have to replay here. See smoke in front there. Looks like the 10 and the 15. So we'll try to look it back at their advantage of Jonathan Cross. Is it 16, not the 15, sorry. Oh, the 09. Looks like he made contact with a 16. And there's a lot of drivers involved in that one. Back under caution. Zero 09, given the EOL, single file restart. Range control has ruled on that one. Heavy damage on Jared Mogart's ride. Not sure they'll be able to repair that. You see that left front tire completely off of that machine. Robbie Clabby trying to get down in the pit lane to get some repair work done. And Michael Van, not sure if he was able to get back in his pits or not. Everybody else back on the raceway. All right, so let's go through the field. Your leader right now, Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. Luke Smith in second spot. Chuck Sweeting in the third position. John Eastoe in the 26. He's in the fourth. Adam Gable there in the fifth position. Josh Nelms in sixth. Dan Janin up to seventh. JD Rich in eighth. Ninth spot is Greg Polsky. Matt Dula in the 10th spot. Travis Hoffler in 11th. Jared Apel in 12th position. Marshall Johnson 13th. 14th is Justin White. Brian Holman in the 60 ride is in 15th. Justin Grosser in 38 is 16th. Jeff Mathis 17th, Gary Eschen 23rd, and we're back to green flag racing here. 107 of 200 being worked on here. But Jared Mogert has decided to call it a day and has disconnected. 26 drivers connected to the server still. .93 to go as Ryan Johnson has command of this. Out to a 3/10 lead over Luke Smith. Brandon Klozinski checking in, telling DJ to get up to the front, that he's not there because Brandon can't show up. He wants you to get up there, DJ. So pushing DJ to the front, currently in 24th position. Drivers in danger of incident disconnections: Van, Clavy, Barrett Jr., Eschen, Mathis. All drivers 10 points or higher in incident counts. Gun down 110 here, 90 to go. Continue to work out here. 5-Star Realty Group ARCA Series. Lucas, the Track Time Entertainment 200 at Lucas Oil Raceway. Working down, 115 down, 85 to go. Luke Smith now that 139 north ride right there behind Tiny Horse. Looking like he's going to try to make a pass to take the lead here. Right now Chuck Sweeting about 5 car lengths behind the front two. He's the first South driver looking at that extra $25 if he can get across that line first and claim the North Track for the South drivers. Took us until last week to pay out extra for the ARCA Series, as Justin Grosser was able to punch the ticket there at Nashville Fairgrounds. 139 there, trying to get around the threes, allowed the 75 of Chuck Sweeting to get right there up on the 2 leaders. As you see him working the high line, 139 still trying to work that low line. It's not working out for him. You see him probably stay tucked here as Chuck's looking for a way to get around the front two, as he's right on the back deck of the 39. And across the stripe here, we'll have 80 laps to go. The 139 still looking on that inside. Hasn't been able to get there to present that fender yet, but he's waiting to get there. Looks like he's underneath the 3 this time as they go to the backstretch. And the 75 looks like he's going to trap him down there. That's Chuck Sweeting around the outside of the 39. As the 3 and the 75 pass the 39. 24 drivers connected. Michael Van's 20 laps down. Robbie Clammy is 1 lap down. 22 drivers on the lead lap. As Ryan Johnson continues to lead this event for tonight, the Track Time Entertainment 200 at Lucas Oil Raceway, part of the Showdown tracks. That means that Kelly's Custom Engraving will be providing a plaque to tonight's winner as a trophy for their accomplishments. So 125 of 200 done, 75 laps to go. As we see Ryan Tiny Horse starting to pick up lap traffic. It's the 16 of DJ Weltmeyer. It's just in front of the 3 of Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. Ryan Tiny Horse one more time across in front, ticking off his lead laps. Now Chuck Sweeting around Luke Smith to move that South driver into the 2nd spot. The next South driver is Brian Holman in 6th. And Justin Grosser and Matt Dula in the top 10. Across the stripe here, 70 laps to go. Johnson has 84 laps on this set of tires. Cup has 61 right behind him. And then behind him is Jared Apel, Brian Holman, Adam Gable opting out. That contact between the 12 and the 20, or the 60 there, sorry. We had a double file restart after this one. Ryan Johnson on pit lane. So the top 3 stay out. Top 4 stay out. That's Adam Gable, J.D. Rich, Travis Hoffler, and Thomas Stewart. Jared Apel, Ryan Johnson, Chuck Sweeting, Luke Smith, Josh Easto, Justin Grosser all elect to come down pit lane for new tires. All right. Oh, 134. It would be, it's like Adam Gable will be given the end of line penalty. Race control. That'll put JD Rich in the lead here. So South driver to the front. So JD Rich leading right now, putting himself in that position for the extra 25. 65 laps remaining. Lights are out on the pace car. JD Rich, the current leader, with Ryan Johnson right behind him. Coming off the back stretch here, the pace car should dive down pit lane, which will allow JD Rich to fire his back up. He's got Travis Hoffler with him. Both of those guys are on older tires. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson has new set of tires, as well as the 51 and everyone on back. So here comes JD Rich to the line. Yellow. Race control didn't like the way it was set up. Puts out the yellow flag again. So a delayed green on 137. Twenty cars on the lead lap. We're going to go back to green flag here to 61 as command. This car off, coming out of turn number 4. JD Rich leading them to turn number 1. Brian Johnson with a crossover move from the outside to the inside. In turn number 1, backstretch we go. Brian Johnson side by side with the 61. Turns 3 and 4. The position that's Ryan Johnson as he slides up in front of the 61. So back to North Control as Ryan Johnson gets around the 61 and give Luke Smith a position around JD Rich as well. JD Rich a little bit better off of turn 4. So they're doing battle right there. The 39 and the 61, and now Jared Apel in the mix as well. So 3 cars fighting for the second spot as JD Rich is going backwards in a hurry, back down to 4th position, with Chuck Sweating in the 75 and Travis Hoffler with him as well. So 3 North drivers followed by 3 South drivers, and 3 North drivers and 3 South drivers. So they're kind of working in threes, it's what it looks like currently for this race. .142 laps down to 200. You're in some contact. Yellow flag out. See if we can get what happened here. Zero, 1 to 10 and 12 are right here. Entering the corner. (9-12) out of shape. ends up hitting the wall or slowing on the wall and sending somebody flying. $144,200, so 56 laps remaining. Looking for race control. Let me know what they found on that last caution flag incident. 16 being issued. $145,200, so 55 laps. We have the three north drivers in the top 3 positions here. Weiser's still on the pace car. Michael Van showing on the track, 29 laps down. DJ Weltmeyer 3 laps down. Robbie Cloudy a lap down. Looks like DJ has pulled it into the pits, called it a night. So 22 cars on the racetrack, 20 on the lead lap. Lights are out of the pace car. Ryan Johnson will lead us to green. 53 laps to go. JD Rich has 77 laps on his tires. Getting ready to go back to green. Johnson and Smith looking on the front line. Row 1 goes off the 3, right up to the top he goes. Green flag in the air. Turn 1 followed by Luke Smith. Caution back out. Feels like the 64 of Thomas Stewart. Let's try to see what happened there. There's a 33 on the outside wall there, brings it back down, still green. And then the 33 looks like he came back down to 64, and two cars, a bunch of cars in there. A lot of cars were given their disconnections there. So 19 cars after that last little caution there. Robin checking in. Zoom, zoom, fly. Ryan, fly. $33 be an EOL. $49 laps left tonight's race. North in control through the top three. And we have two South drivers in fourth and fifth. And three more North drivers to include Justin Grosser from sixth through eighth. So 19 cars all on the lead lap. All that's left here out of the 30 cars that started. Josh Nelms going back down to pit lane, getting some service done. Lights are out on the pace car. $47 laps left. Johnson and Smith, 1-2, chucking a 75, trying to find a way around Luke Smith. So now Josh Nelms in the 19th spot, the only car a lap down. 18 cars on the lead lap. $44 laps left. Look at the 75 sliding underneath the 139. Pulls back. There's run up again. Jared Apel in the 51 there as well. Things are starting to heat up. 43 laps left. 75 looking on the high side around the 39. We got 40 laps left with Ryan Johnson in the lead, 2/10 over Luke Smith. Luke Smith a little bit tight coming off the corner there. Allowed the 75, that outside line. Looks like the 75 is going to get around him right here. Jared Apel also going to the outside line. Seeing Justin Grosser now in the 6th spot. And Luke Smith must have had his tires heat up pretty good on that last little slide there, because he's moving in the wrong direction, moving back 3 spots. As Ryan Johnson is now half a second over Chuck Sweeting and 7/10 over Jared Apel. Justin Grosser all the way down to that inside line in the 6th spot, looking to make it the 5th top 5 here. Johnson spreading out his lead to the 7/10 there on that last lap. 36 laps to go. So 167 down, so 33 laps remaining with Ryan Johnson leading the way here. 8/10 over Chuck Sweeting. North controlling the north track. Justin Grosser, the only driver so far this season with more than one win. If Johnson can get one here tonight, he'll be another one of the first-time winners in the ARCA series. Working 169 here to the 170. They'll come around next time, be 30 laps to go. 7/10 race leader Ryan Johnson over Sweeting and Apel. You need to march off as the sun has gone down here in Indianapolis. 171 laps, 30 laps to go. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson is continuing to extend his race lead. Over to 75 at Chuck Sweeting, the first South driver. Then 2 North drivers in Apel and Smith, and Kevin Barrett Jr. holding down the 5th spot. So 2 South drivers, 3 North drivers. And then the 38 of Justin Grosser looking to come into the top 5, currently in the 6th spot. Ryan Johnson now 9/10 over Apel and Sweeting. In the Track Time Entertainment 200 here at Lucas Oil in Indianapolis, Indiana. "25 laps to go." "19 cars connected, 17 on the lead lap." Caution out. Looks like a solo spin there. Now what do you decide? Ryan Johnson looks like 44 laps on his tires. Looks like everyone to Jordan Madron has stayed out on those tires. But half of those is Johnson, Hoffler, Stewart, and White. Justin Grosser, the first car on new tires. Currently in the pit lane, third in 11th spot. Josh Nelms, Brian Holman, Shane Loveridge, Justin White, Marshall Johnson, Jordan Madron, Kevin Barrett Jr. all in danger of the 14 disqualification. Looks like Brian Holman has disconnected and we're going to come back next week. So 18 cars racing. One off the lead lap, 17 on the lead lap. Austin Grease said that the Jordan Madron is putting in a solid top 10 and sitting in that 6th spot. Travis Hoffler, the number 20, was given the EOL. As will probably be about 20 laps remaining. Lights are out of the pace car. 20 laps to go. Once the green flag flies, 17 cars on the lead lap. Fresh tires, Roadster and Dula in 9th and 10th. Justin White and Marshall Johnson have just slightly fresher tires than the front 6 cars. 19 laps to go. Continuing is that Ryan Johnson just strongly setting the pace. As Chuck Sweeting is trying to close the gap to reclaim his position on top and get that $25 bonus. Matt Dula now scoring the fastest lap on the race. He's currently in the 6th spot. About 1.2 seconds behind race leader Ryan Johnson. And you see him on the tail end of this pack here. Justin Grosser fastest lap as he's in the 7th position. Him and Dula both have fresh tires. Is it going to be too little too late as we're working lap 184, 16 laps to go. You see Dula on the inside there alongside of Kevin Barrett Jr. And he gets around to put Matt Dula in the top 5. And Grosser has also cleared into the top 6. So two are alternating north-south, then north all the way through 6th, 3rd through 6th. South driver Kevin Barrett Jr. 7th, and Josh Easto and Jonathan Cross the north, and Jordan Madron is the south driver. So looks like 3 south drivers and 7 north drivers in the top 10. So Ryan standing out his lead to 5 tenths. As you see Matt Dula challenging for 3rd. On the inside line going out of turn 1 and 2. He's on the inside of Luke Smith. As we got about 12 laps to go. Matt Dula showing that he can get up there as he slides in front of Luke Smith to give him the 3rd spot. 17 up underneath the 75 of Chuck Sweeting. Does he have enough momentum to complete the pass backstretch? And Justin Grosser's there with him. So Dula and Grosser coming through the field on those fresh set of tires. Move Dula in a 2nd spot, coming up on Ryan Johnson, 6 tenths between the top 2 drivers. As Justin Grosser settling in at 3rd position. As we cross the stripe here, it'll be 10 to go, and things are heating up as these drivers with these fresher tires are really starting to chew up that lead that Ryan Johnson's built up. Matt Dula having to challenge caution out. It looks like the 51 of Jared Apel. Let's see what else we can see here. Kind of get an idea of what, watch the 51 there. Looks like he got a little bit squirrely in that on that straightaway as he's on the inside of the 139. And I'm not sure which one went up or down on that one, but there was contact between the 51 and Luke Smith. And the 64 kind of just runs right on in there. So what do you do if you're Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson here? He's got older tires with Dula and Grosser behind him. Showing 8 laps to go. 39 of Luke Smith was issued the penalty there. goes Josh Nelms. He was the only car a lap down. So we have 17 cars on the lead lap as we're trying to finish up here. We're under 10. Based on what I'm seeing, we should have about 5 lap shootout to finish this off. Oh, might be less than 5 laps since the lights are still on the pace car. Shane Loveridge in the 72 has disconnected, leaving 17 cars connected here. Lights are out on the pace car, so we will have 4 laps to go. Will not count as the green-white checkered yet, so we will have another shot. Adam Gable is cheering on fellow racer 38 Justin Grosser, as Ryan Johnson will lead us to the green flag here with Dula with those better set of tires. 5 laps to go, but it'll be 4 when we cross here. Johnson fires it off. Dula and Grosser there. Dula up into the 2nd spot behind Ryan Johnson, as Grosser's right there in the back of the 17. As he's now battling side by side with Chuck Sweeting. There's the front 4 with 4 laps to go. Grosser coming off the corner there, gets the 3rd spot away from Chuck Sweeting. Top 3 in North control, then the next 2 is South drivers. 3 laps to go. Johnson in command, Dula and Grosser behind him. Two laps to go to Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson as we're coming off the backstretch. 17 and the 38 are poised and ready to strike. White flag in the air. White flag, 1 to go from 1 to go Studios to Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, as he's looking to be the new driver for winning the ARCA series, as Dula looking to go underneath him. He's there, but he's going to get there in time. Inside, not going to be enough. It's Johnson, Dula, Grosser. Top 3 to the north tonight. So here are your results. Johnson, Dula, Grosser, Sweeting, Barrett Jr., Easto, Rich, Jonathan Cross, Jordan Madron, and Travis Hoffler, top 3, or top 10. And White, Apel, Johnson, Smith, Stewart, Nelms, Polsky, Loveridge, Holman, and Gable, top 20. 21 was Clavey, then Deltmeyer, DJ Weltmeyer, Dan Jan Janin, Van, Mathis, Eschen, Mogard, Cook, and Halloran. And final is Devin Rogers here at the Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, Indiana. As Ryan is going to be doing a reverse lap in the 3 ride. And try to get some of these guys up here for a talk with. All right, let's pull in.
I was just waiting.
All right, Justin, you're up here with Harold, man. Top 3 tonight. I mean, you were talking about having to come from the back, and you were there for quite a bit of it, looking like you might have had a shot for 2 trophies this week.
Yeah, I think another handful of laps there, maybe another 5 or 10, and it would have been a different story. Duel was really aggressive, and I was interested to see how he was going to race the 3 when he got there because I knew it was a matter of time. But yeah, that's good. That's coming from the back. By lap 30, I think I was in the top 5, and then kind of pit cycles shifted here and there, and I got back in the pack. And just on a restart, I don't know what happened. I guess these guys need to practice restarts and not missing shifts because we all fired at the bottom line, and then suddenly, like, off of 4 on the straightaway, they all stopped in front of me, and I had no time to react. I tried to lock it down, but just that was unfortunate. That sent me to the back. I had a bunch of damage to get fixed, and we got her fixed up, and took some tires late, and here we are. But it wasn't pretty. I'll take it though.
Yeah, well, the 38 should maintain the points lead for the ARCA series, so that's one thing to take away from tonight.
Yeah, that's great, but Brian is so good, and Ryan can get hot at any point. There's a lot of guys over here that Chuck, I don't think, has won a race yet this season, and he's due for one hardcore. So the next weeks are going to be tough. We got the road course, and then we got a week off, and then Talladega, which anything can happen at Talladega. So check with me after Talladega, and I'll tell you how points lead feels. But right now, it doesn't really mean much right now. We still got a drop week to figure in, and there's just a lot that can still happen.
All right, Justin Grocery, who do you want to thank for tonight's podium?
Track Time Entertainment, JG Harbor Flooring, 5-Star Realty Group, Kelly's Custom Engraving, One to Go Studios, all the guys up front tonight, man. That was it's hard to pass here, but we showed, I think, that it can be done cleanly.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on you for next week. Both series heading to WeatherTech at Laguna.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it, Harold.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. It was Justin Grosser in the 38 ride. Let's talk to Matt Dula. He's in that 17. Matt, man, last gasp, try to get down there. Not enough for the 3, but you did put in a heck of a performance in the 2nd place position tonight.
Yeah, Ryan and I were just talking about that. I had a really good run going into turn 3 there, and I knew I was gonna have to try something crazy. And I told him, if I felt like we were door to door, then I would have bumped him to try to get the move. But I ended up landing right at his left rear quarter panel, and I was like, if I bump him, he's probably going to spin out, and that's just a cheap way to win. So I feel pretty good about a 2nd place finish. For the past 2 past races or so, I've been blinking out and disqualified for poor connection. So it's nice to just finish a race, much less finish 2nd.
Yeah, it was a pretty good job, and yeah, I know you've been having issues with connection issues, and And that's one of those things that in a traditional race you wouldn't have those issues, but welcome to internet racing, right?
No doubt, man. No doubt. I'm can't wait to move apartments so that I can hardwire. So I have to do all this on Wi-Fi for the next 3 or 4 months, and then once we move, we'll have the hardwire again, and then it won't be a problem. But I'm just really happy to have made this run and to get Rickard trucking up here and get some TV time for them. So it's always a good day whenever I can do that.
All right. Anybody else you want to thank for tonight's second place performance before we let you get back to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Buff's Tire, and I want to thank One to Go Studios, Kelly's Custom Engraving, J&G Hardwood Flooring, all the the name sponsors for the series, North South Racing League, all the admins. They do a great job. I want to thank Ryan and Justin right there for having some really good, clean racing right there at the end, and can't wait till next week.
Yeah, next week, left and right turns at WeatherTech at Laguna Seca. You guys, how much practice you guys have put on that corkscrew? That's basically a 90, I was told it was about 45 to 50 foot drop from the top of the corkscrew to the exit.
Yeah, it's an intense one. Ryan and I in a previous league ran Laguna Seca before, and we had a lot of fun, but it really gets stretched out, a lot of mistakes made. You can X out really easily, really quickly there, and there's no caution, so if you mess up, you're stuck. So it's all about being precise, being clean, making passes in the right portions, and just running your own race, because if you try to keep up with the guy in front of you, you're probably both going to mess up.
Yeah, definitely a different mentality. Learned from a lot of really good road course racers, and it's kind of cool to talk to them. But like ovals, you race the drivers around you more, and on the road courses, it seems like you race the track a whole lot more than your competitors.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of passing opportunities at Laguna Seca too. You just have to know when to execute it. If somebody drives in too deep, that can put them 2 or 3 seconds behind. So there's a lot of opportunities, but yeah, overall good run. Can't wait for next week. Yeah, happy to be here, man, as always.
All right, we'll talk to Matt Dula next week. Good job at the second place finish. We'll let you get back at it, man.
10-4, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yep. All right, we're going to try to talk with Tiny Horse here. All right, Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, you got a win on both sides now.
Finally. I was wondering how long it was going to take for me to get the ARCA one this year.
Well, this one, it looked like you were getting a heck of a challenge. I didn't know how the 17 was going to get there. I mean, he was there, and, the bump and run was looking like it was getting set up.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for it, and it came on the white flag lap going into 3, and I saw my mirror, and I'm like, oh, he's got way too much speed, so I just stayed high, gave him room, and tried to get the run coming off on him, and it worked for us tonight.
All right, so that your Goodwrench tie-dye 3 puts that thing in victory lane. So who you want to thank for tonight's victory?
All the admins here at NSRL. You opened the booth for broadcast and our sponsors, Kelly's Custom Engraving, G&G Hardwood, 5-Star Realty, Track Time Entertainment, Taz Motorsports, my girlfriend, mom, dad, everyone watching, all the fans, everyone that makes this possible, all the drivers. I think we're finally starting to head in the right direction with this. It felt like we had, a lot of good racing tonight, and that's what I love to see. I mean, I love long green flag runs. I feel like we're stronger on it, and I feel like we're small steps in the right direction. We're getting better.
All right. Well, tonight gets you one of those nice Kelly Customs Engraving plaques heading your way with the number 3 ride on that thing. So something to commemorate this 200 lap event here at the Lucas Oil Raceway outside Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, I love those things. It's kind of funny is I won the last race of the season last season in ARCA, and it was actually here, and I won a plaque there too. So I think I'll almost have some matching ones now.
Well, that would be kind of neat. Like, well, this was one from season 2 and one from one and season 2. So you have 1 and 2 from the back-to-back seasons in the same track. So that's good. At least you're doing something right at this. I wouldn't really want to call this a short track per se, because it does have some nuances of a short as well as an intermediate. But they're not as flat as some of the short tracks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it, it feels kind of small because of the groove that you got to run, and it was really hard to pass. So
Yeah.
you're either running the middle or up by the wall.
Yep, definitely running the high side, high, wide, and handsome looked like was the best way around. The inside line just didn't seem to have any push off, is what it looked like from up here.
Yeah, through so from the center off, you started getting real loose and sliding too much, and if you tried to mash down the throttle, you'd just end up kicking the rear end out and tapping the wall or spinning around, and you had to be very gentle on the throttle if you're on that low line. And it seemed like you could keep it wound up a little bit better on the high side.
All right, well, Ryan, heading over to the road courses next week in both series. Have you guys been doing any practicing? You guys got some strategy ready to go for a caution-free event next week?
Not yet. That'll be in the coming days. We're not terrible at we're not terrible at road courses, but we're not the best. Well, hell, we're getting an EOL now, so we're gonna have some fun with traffic, I guess.
You'll be passing a lot of cars, it's for sure, to get it to a good points night. But it is Laguna Seca. It's a wide, I think, a pretty wide open track. Lots of passing potential areas, and there's also some blind corners. So, I mean, it is definitely going to challenge these guys. These cars have a lot of horsepower, so I could just, in my mind, can see some of these guys taking those corners coming off a little bit more than they need to, and it doesn't take much for these cars to jump off to that rear end snapping around on you.
Oh, it really doesn't. And next week is you're gonna see who's got control of their car and who doesn't, and especially with having no cautions, gonna see who can minimize mistakes because it's gonna be difficult. That's that's for sure.
All right, Ryan, we'll let you go, man, and we'll talk to you guys next week at WeatherTech at Laguna.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. So, as I said earlier, we're going to WeatherTech at Laguna Seca next week, same time, right back here. I hope we see you then. Until then, I'm Harold Darner, Wendigo Studios. We'll see you at the next turn. What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come, out of turn 4, to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers